Hey guys, what's going on? This is Deadly, and today we're going to be doing another Q&A, week 15. This episode is every Sunday, and I go through the comment section and do my best to answer some of the questions that you guys leave me, so let's get started. First question comes from Tejas. Bro, you know about the modded DayZ server that character spawns with gears and it's all PvP. I have heard about the server, but I don't play there. I'm not really interested in learning more about it because if I did play there, I would get a DMCA strike from Bohemia Interactive, very similar to World of Warcraft private servers like Nostalrius. So I will patiently wait for officially supported modded servers. Next question comes from Mac. What do you think would be a cool thing to come to DayZ that's currently not announced? I think horses would be cool. I think about this a lot, but I'm actually a fan of most of the things that are inside of the game files. So I'm excited for the base building. I'm excited for the new weapons. I'm eager to see how helicopters and biplanes will work out. If there's anything that I have yet to see that I would like in the game, I would say more optics and attachments for weapons that currently don't have that many. And also working bayonets, but it's obviously announced that that will be coming down the road. Next question comes from Nikolai. What is the best tip you have for riding solo? Don't be afraid to get aggressive, because the faster that you can whittle down their numbers, the more likely that you'll actually survive, because you want to make it an even playing field as fast as possible. So if you see an opportunity to take out 2 players and you're up against a 3-man squad, do it. Next question comes from Kyle. Hey Deadly, what is the #1 issue in your opinion that the developers need to fix in DayZ? Also, happy birthday. Thank you guys. And this, I'm just going to take a time out here. Thank you everybody for wishing me happy birthday last week in the comment section. Really appreciate it. So on to the question. The #1, or there's 2 things that I think that desperately need to be resolved. Wall glitching and duplicating. If those 2 things were resolved, I'd be a very happy camper. Next question comes from Andreas. Do you ever play on EU? If yes, is there a way for me to play with you? Also, how do you hide your own body when you die? I'm not going to mention the last part because that's a pretty big glitch that I absolutely hate. And yeah, I always play on, I'm assuming you're talking about DayZ Underground. I always play on DayZ Underground EU during stable branch periods, and I also support the server. Running Man, Minder, Septic Falcon, and I all pay for the DayZ Underground EU server. Next question comes from Asmondian. Happy birthday, dude. Question, what do you think about the developers making DayZ more of an arcade game? You concluded that after you've seen the new player animation video. I don't think it's going in that direction at all. If it's actually probably going to be getting a little bit more hardcore with the increased amount of zombie threats, wolves, predators like bears coming down the road. This game is going to get a whole lot more intense, and it's definitely not getting easier. Next question from Neon Pursuit. How do you keep track of where you're going to be going for locations? And I can't really figure out what I need to run DayZ, so do I need a better processor or graphics card? Any mid-tier CPU and GPU should be able to handle DayZ standalone right now just fine. The new rendering engine came out in June 2016, and since then, most people have been able to perform in the game quite well, up to 60 frames per second, even on some gaming laptops. So I wouldn't worry too much about that as long as you have a decent computer that isn't like a $300 pre-built that you bought on like Dell.com. If you actually have a decent CPU and a decent GPU, like something even from back in 2012, you should be able to run DayZ just fine. For keeping track of your location, just keep playing the game and use maps. Try to memorize certain landmarks and areas that you travel in. Next question comes from Reaper. Hey Delia, do you think they'll fix the loot system soon? With the experimental branches always being full or highly populated, it's hard to find loot unless the server restarts. I think that's as intended, but in 0.59, loot did recycle automatically, and I really hope they do get back to that point. Right now, the server just takes, I guess I'm going to call it a cache of what has been looted, so it knows what to recycle whenever the server goes down. And I really prefer the automatic loot just coming back periodically over time, because then you can have servers that are up for 12 or even 24 hours without having to go down and loot repopulating correctly. I think that's kind of where they want to take it. Next question comes from Blogich. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly at all. How can I make DayZ more interesting for me? I mean, I'm watching your videos and it looks so cool. If I jump on the game, it just is boring. By the way, you are the best. Well, thank you. I go and try to seek out high intensity situations. So I go to the Northwest Airfield, I go to VMC, I used to go to Mishkino, probably not so much anymore, Tizzy Military Base, Starry, Novi, areas where I know that players are going to be traveling in often, and I try to seek them out for PvP or encounters. That's what I try to do. But if you're bored with that, try to think about what kind of role you're currently playing. Are you a survivor, somebody who works with other people but also kills other people equally? Are you a bandit, somebody who pretty much only kills everybody that you see? Or are you more on a hero side where you rarely kill people that you see and you want to help out other people in the game? Try to identify what role you're currently playing and try to shift your game style to something a little bit different. For instance, if you've been a bandit, which is my play style most of the time, then try to switch it up and be a hero. Maybe don't shoot everybody on sight. Go in there and try to communicate with people and just see what happens. It might make things a little bit more interesting for you, but it depends on your play style because it might make you more frustrated because it opens you up to getting killed more often. Set challenges for yourself. I've done this survivalist series where I limit what supplies I can take up just to make the game a little bit more interesting. There's a whole lot that you can do in DayZ, and I guess lastly, try to get involved with a private Hive community that you can call home. Get to know the people who play on that server, join the community, get to know the admins. It might make your experience a little bit more enjoyable. Next question comes from Som. Do you think that PvP from the beginning to now, 0.61, has changed, or is it the same? If yes, how and why? I think you mean from the beginning of the game's release until now. Yeah, I believe that PvP has changed quite a bit with the introduction of Sway a long time ago, with the introduction of every new military weapon, pistol, supply, protector case, you know, anti-stab vest, well, not anti-stab vest, but plate carriers, press vests, introduction of different optics and different weapons being able to take different optics. Everything changes all the time, and especially in 0.61, one of the biggest changes has been the spawn changes. So people not being able to spawn in Prigorod, Cherno, Komarova, and Bolota, that has shifted where PvP happens on the map. So this game is constantly changing all the time. So of course, PvP has definitely changed since DayZ Standalone's release, and in my opinion, it's just gotten way more intense. Next question comes from Brenpat. Do you think when DayZ becomes a full game, they will add new game modes? Well, that's going to be up to the modding community. I think DayZ Standalone and the developers are going to remain as just DayZ Standalone, just the typical standard version of the game, very similar to the mods. But I'm not going to rule out the possibility of having Battle Royale mods or life mods or PvP-oriented mods or PvE-oriented mods added into DayZ. I think that is the plan, and it's something that we can expect in the future, as well as additional maps. But the developers are most likely not going to be working on those. They're going to leave that up to the community and Steam Workshop. Well guys, that's all the questions for this week's video, and again I want to thank you guys. There was a lot of questions and a lot of people wishing me happy birthday last week, so thank you so much for that. If I missed your question last week, just rewrite it in the comment section below. I actually have been recently going from most recent first and then down, but that's probably a mistake, so I'm going to be doing it backwards. The first people to comment this week, I'm going to make sure to remember to read your guys' questions first, rather than reading them near the end. So I do apologize for that. Anyways, everyone, have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys during the daily live streams. Just a reminder, if you're new and you don't know that I even live stream, I do stream on Twitch every single day, Monday through Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and Sundays at noon. So I'm on Twitch doing stuff all the time. And I also upload a new video to my channel every single day, and it's usually up around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you jump on YouTube around 5 p.m., a new video should be up. Anyways, guys, have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you guys soon, and see you guys for next week's Q&A.